Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. So as you can see, I am back with another downfall video. This time around, I'm talking about Becca Cosmetics, their high times, their downfall, where they're currently at, and if I feel like they can still make a comeback in the community. So if you guys want to hear more about it, then just stay tuned. So unlike Tarte, I never really feel like Becca was an it girl brand. You know, when I'm saying it girl, I mean the type of brand where if you don't use it or you don't buy it, it's kind of like that you can't sit with us type of vibe. You know, like when you say, oh, I don't shop at that brand, and people look at you like, what? Like, what do you mean you don't buy MAC? What do you mean you don't buy Fenty? Like, that's what's considered like those it girl brands. You know, those cool brands. I never really feel like Becca was ever one of those brands, but Becca was definitely at a higher place than it is now. Becca was one of those well-respected type of brands. You know, it had a type of prestige to it. It had class. I know that sounds bad because then you're like, okay, so what brands aren't classy? Which we can get into it if you want to. But you guys know what I mean. Like, they're the type of brands, they never really relied on, you know, memes and sending you emails with the latest slang in it. They just held themselves to a different standard where it's like, okay, we're just gonna push out our products and let our products speak for us. You know, we've just built a name on putting out products that people know it's going to be a good thing. And that's what I kind of consider Becca to be back in the day, like a Becca, Lancome, Estee Lauder. Like, they're those type of brands, they just have a certain, you know, oomph about them to where you kind of respect them. And like I said, they put out quality products. With Becca, yeah, it was never really like a, you know, you're one of the cool kids if you're using Becca Cosmetics, but when they came out with new products, like, it was never a question in my mind of if the product was going to be good or not, because they had made a name for putting out good products, right? So years ago, I feel, you know, Becca was really putting themselves on the map with their highlighters and with their complexion products. And of course, they collaborated with Jaclyn Hill, and it was Champagne Pop? Is that what it's called? I never purchased that one. But, you know, and that really put their name out there for highlighter. I think like with Topaz, all these different highlighter shades. And then of course there were the complexion products that they had. And at that time, you know, I feel like now if you look back at some of Becca's complexion shade ranges compared to what we have now, you would think, oh, okay, that's kind of decent, to say the best. But at that time, you know, comparing that to the things we were getting from, you know, Too Faced or Tarte, Becca was also considered a inclusive brand with the shades that they had in their ultimate complexion coverage. I really liked that foundation. I can't remember the name of it now, but they had that foundation and they were considered an inclusive brand. So all of that, you know, having good products, being considered inclusive, being a brand that really kind of stayed out of the mess, all of that made them like a really well-respected, a well-liked brand. So how do we get here in 2020 when it's like, if I say what's the last Becca product you purchased or were even interested in, I feel like some people, you know, like the crickets would start forming. Now, I feel like if you ask some people what was Becca's downfall, they'll tell you, oh, the downfall of Becca was that, you know, they stopped sending out PR every other week and they stopped paying influencers to talk about them. So that was their downfall. And that's a conversation that we're going to have one day where it's like, you need to pick a side, all right? Either they're not as important as they would like to believe, or they are that important that influencers not talking about a brand causes the complete downfall of the company. I don't agree with that. I don't believe influencers not talking about the brand is what causes its downfall, because there are plenty of brands that don't rely heavily on influencer marketing or who don't, you know, have these codes that influencers are pushing. I mean, there are brands who do that, and they are, you know, starting to slip through the cracks of being relevant in the beauty community. So I don't believe that's what was the downfall of Becca. What I believe is the downfall of Becca Cosmetics is I feel like the brand got to a point where it was just like, so what do we do now? You know, there are some brands, they focus on one thing and it works for them. You know, Artist Couture, they had the highlighters. Yes, Angel is, you know, now incorporating like lipsticks and lip glosses and eyeshadows and stuff like that. But for the longest time, it was highlighter and it worked for them. You know, Melt Cosmetics I don't even know if they have complexion products. I do know that they're coming out with an eyeshadow palette on Monday, which I haven't used the two that I do have here right now. I just purchased another one, but am I gonna purchase the one that they're launching on Monday? Yes, I am, because they focus on eyeshadow and they do it very well. And you can focus on one type of thing, like Dose of Colors for the longest time was like lipstick, even though they have since expanded since then. You can focus on one thing and do it very well, and it works for you. You don't have to do everything. You don't have to be the complexion queen, the eyeshadow queen, the lipstick queen. It works for some people. Some brands, it doesn't work for, and I feel like that is Becca. You know, like, it doesn't work for them because they don't do it correctly, and I feel like they're not doing it correctly. And another thing with some brands is that when they are such an older brand and they do have products that worked for them, they hold on to those products for dear life and they refuse to let go. Like, if I get another variation of All Nighter Urban Decay, it's gonna be problems, okay? But you guys know the type of brands and the products I'm talking about, where they just hold on to it and like switch up nothing ever again. Like, they're like, we had one hit, and instead of thinking of a way to make another hit, we're just gonna keep putting out that same hit over and over and over again. That's what Becca started to do. So they started coming out with, so, you know, they went big with the highlighter, and then they did like metallic shimmery type of highlighter, lipsticks. So Becca became popular for their highlighter, and especially at the time, highlighter was just the talk of the town. Everyone was putting out their own highlighter because they wanted their highlighter to be the supreme highlight of all highlights. We got different color highlight, different formulas, liquid, compact, palettes of highlighters. And I was saying this not too long ago, I need brands to start reading the room, all right? It made sense at that point, but I just saw like a week ago or something like that, they were coming out with now a new face highlight, new face and body highlighter. It's 2020. Is highlight as popping as it was at the time when you were big for your highlights? So why are we still focusing on coming out with the same, you know, different packaging of highlights that we were popular for? Or let's add some new type of highlights to the market. Read the room, okay? I see people straight up saying like they don't even use highlights anymore. They're certainly not wearing it with that like blinding highlights anymore. So if we were going to be the brand that decided that they were going to focus on one type of product only, why in 2020 would it be highlight? Why? I don't understand here. And like I said, back in the day, they were considered an inclusive brand. They did have really good complexion products, but then it was just like we kind of stopped making them so we could focus on highlight. And then we were just, if we did go back to focusing on complexion products, we were just going to like repackage the ones that we already had. Like I said, I really liked, if you've been here for a minute, you know I really liked the Ultimate Coverage. I can't remember the entire name because it's really long. But the Ultimate Coverage foundation, and then a couple years ago, maybe like 2 years ago, they like redid it, and before it was in like a dark brown packaging, and then they put it in like a clear, you can see through type of packaging. Like, they redid that, and I think like that's low-key like the last thing I heard about them coming out with any type of complexion products. And it was like, okay, we get it that you've got like staple products, and you know they are what's going to get you your biggest bang for your buck, but can we have something else though? Anything. No, we can't. We're just gonna keep getting the same thing, and it's the same thing packaged over and over again, sprinkled in every now and then, because now our main focus is highlighter. So let me go ahead and pull up So let me go ahead and pull up the website and see what their new arrivals is looking like. What are they doing currently right now? My Wi-Fi is not messing with me today, so it's finally loaded on the What's New page. Ignite Liquefied Light Highlighter, Prep and Set Matte Never Flat Kit. Again, just, you know, repackaging products that we've already had. Instant Awake Eye Kit. Products like I've already tried those products. I've already purchased them. Light Shift Brightening Concealer. Okay, that's new. Let's see. Did that say shop all 8 shades? So their new arrivals page consists of 2 new highlighters, 2 sets of products that they've been putting out for years, and then a concealer that comes in 8 shades. And something I forgot to mention that I don't think contributes to their downfall, but I definitely feel like when brands start doing this, it's them noticing like, oh, things are getting a little bit slow here as far as how relevant we are. So we gotta do a little something to get like a quick pop, to get some quick relevancy. And if we're gonna keep it a buck here, to get like a quick little cash grab. And that's collaborating with just people that didn't make sense why you were doing collaborations with them, and collaborating with celebrities. Now, here's the thing. Like I mentioned in the Tarte video, brands do these collaborations that just don't make sense, and that's why no one talks about them. You know, I was gonna say a year, not even like 6 months after the collaboration happens. Listen how I just said they collaborate with Jaclyn Hill, Champagne Pop. It's probably been like, what, a decade since that collaboration, but it still gets talked about. You still know, like, it still has a strength in a collaboration that was good, it was successful, it has some history behind it. They collaborated with Chrissy Teigen, and it was like, okay. I think like it had like a cooking theme to it. I remember like the PR package, because Chrissy is a chef, I believe, and it was like, oh, okay, cool. I guess if you like Chrissy Teigen, you know, you're gonna go out and purchase it. Like how the collaboration made sense with the brand, I'm not really sure. And a funny thing, I feel like people were saying that her collaboration looked like they just kind of like repackaged Champagne Pop and just put her name on it, but that's not the point here. So there was that collaboration, and then they collaborated with Khloe Kardashian and her best friend, the twin, Michaela, what are their names? Y'all know the 2 twins I'm talking about. Isn't one like best friends with Khloe? I don't remember what her name is, but they collaborated with those 2, and then I feel like people were really just like, why? I understand why you would collaborate with a Kardashian, but I don't understand, like, it was like a best friend theme type of thing, and like the products in it were just like, okay. Between Khloe and her best friend, I'm not being shady, I honestly just don't remember which one she is and what exactly their names are. I want to say Malika, is that it? Malika? I'm literally not being shady towards her. So like, what is the connection between those 2, the products that came in the collaboration, and then Becca Cosmetics? Like, someone make it make sense to me, because it's not making sense. And you could tell it wasn't making sense. I don't think I heard like anyone talk about that, and I remember getting it and it was just like, oh, okay, can Malika wear some of these shades? And like, it just, like, none of the collaboration made sense. And honestly, I feel like that was low-key like the last I heard anything as far as like a full conversation being had about Becca. Yeah, they came out with things after that, like people might have talked about it a little bit, but I feel like that was the last time like you heard a conversation about Becca, and that's not a good thing, because it wasn't a good conversation. People were just like, what is the point of this collaboration? So to come back and see that that's what their new arrival looks like right now, it's just like, I see nothing has really changed since when their downfall started, and I feel like they're still stuck in that sense of like, what are we doing? Now, do I feel like it's too late for Becca to make a comeback? No, I don't. I actually don't think it's too late for them to make a comeback, because like I said, like, I never really considered them that like it girl brand, so I don't feel like they have a certain standard that's too far away that they can't reach. Like with Tarte, like it was an it girl brand. It was very popular, very talked about, you know, one of the top brands at that time. So it's like all the way up here, and Tarte's like all the way down here now. So that's just too far away for them to get back to that. Like I said, I don't even think they can get back to being a brand that's frequently talked about in the community at this point. Like I said with Tarte, they're just gonna keep, you know, having the little pop moments with like the bronzers and stuff like that, and keep pushing. But with Becca, like, they were that brand that was really just kind of like here. They put their products out when they need to put them out, and then they went about their business. And I feel like now they're kind of like here to where they're still doing that, but it's just kind of like no one's checking for it anymore. So like I feel like this is easier to get back to than this being easier to get back to. You see what I'm saying here? Now, how are they going to do that? Becca needs to rebrand as a complexion brand, and I don't want to see another highlighter launch mention for the rest of 2020. How many months are there left in 2020? We're in April. I want to see another mention, another launch of anything highlighter related for another 10 months. All right, actually no, I don't want to see it until like late 2021. Okay, because when they realized like we were gonna latch on to this whole highlighter thing, they really latched onto it. All right, talking the highlighters, the different colors of highlighters, the liquid highlighter, the lipsticks that had like a metallic they just really focused on this whole shimmer highlight glow thing. No, that's what we're not going to do anymore. Okay, you're going to rebrand as a complexion brand that's even more inclusive than you were at the like look at some of the like advertising, that some of the photos that they use. And imagine like if this was for a complexion product, imagine if they were using this type of imagery as a complexion brand. We already just saw like 3 different skin tones: medium, darker, fairer. And imagine if they were doing this for the things that people are asking for right now. This right now is the time that any of the brands that are on the downfall need to think like, what are we going to do? And right now people are asking for complexion products, all right? Everyone's like, we're good on eyeshadow, okay? You guys eyeshadowed us out in 2019. So in 2020, I'm gonna need y'all to give us bronzers. I'm gonna need y'all to give us blush. I'm gonna need you guys to give us contour, because I know you guys think that you did something with the whole like 50 foundation shade ranges, but when the rest of your complexion products look how they do, like I'm gonna need y'all to not pat yourselves on the back so hard. This is when people are asking for it. So this is when Becca should rebrand, use the same imagery that they use, because at least the imagery is doing something for us, the products that you guys are giving us. But come out with those, and I don't mean repackage the complexion products you already have, all right? Let that be the end of ultimate coverage. Let it sit where it is, leave it alone. No, sorry, camera cut off. What was I saying? Oh, foundation, stop, all right? Leave it where it is. If you wanna use a complexion product that you already had, that had a little bit of a name for itself to kickstart this rebrand, the Aqua concealer, I purchased it, but it didn't have the best shade range. Start there, add more shades to that, repackage that if you want to, add more shades to the color corrector, and then once you let everyone know that you're coming back and you're about to be the complexion doctor that the community needed, then you start giving us everything else everyone's been asking for, all right? Bronzer, which funny enough, they were popular for their bronzer, but it's a shimmer bronzer. And like I said, we're not doing any of that again until like 2021, all right? No more shimmer, no glow, no highlighter. You're going to give us that like rich, just, if you guys remember, because it was something people actually talked about back in the day with their PR packaging, with the pictures that they used on their site, on social media, like everyone talked about it, because it's not even just like the models, but how it was edited and all of that. It just, like, life was in the picture. It was just rich. And I need you to bring that to the products that you're putting out. Not this, you know, glitter bomb that burst everywhere and now you can't clean it up because it's glitter. So how are we going to clean this up? Stop it with that, all right? So you're gonna give us the bronzer, you're gonna give us the blush, you're gonna give us contour, and then after you're doing that with complexion products, then you're gonna give us an eyeshadow before you go back to giving us any type of like highlighter, glitter, shimmer stuff, okay? That's what you're going to do. And if you do have to rely on some type of like celebrity collaboration or anything like that, pick one that makes sense, okay? Brands, to any brands who might be out there listening, if you're looking for a celebrity to collaborate with that makes sense, Megan Thee Stallion is literally like right there. Yes, she's a rapper, but she's also very, very expressive about how she likes makeup, and you see her doing her own makeup. She does her own makeup a lot, actually, for her appearances, stuff like that. Doja Cat, like, doesn't she own half of a beauty brand or something like that? Those are celebrities that make sense. MAC, although MAC is a completely different video on its own, MAC is a brand that does celebrity collaborations very well. Years later, we still remember their Rihanna collaboration. We still remember Selena. We still remember Mariah Carey. I didn't get to pick up that Mariah Carey collaboration, but it was very Mariah Carey if you saw that collaboration. So look at MAC, you know, look at how they do it, and then do ones that make sense. Like Morphe just recently collaborated with Saweetie. That's the only way I can say her name. And actually, Saweetie is a celebrity that makes sense to do a makeup collaboration with, but the one they did with her didn't make sense. Like, here's Saweetie, you know, icy, wifey, and then we get a Coachella collaboration. And it's like, it was supposed to come out around the time Coachella was supposed to happen. And it's like, so we get why you're doing it, but like, it doesn't make sense with the artist that you chose to do it with. So if you are looking for celebrities, those are some of the people that you should be looking to, okay? And then once you find them, make collaborations with them that make sense. And that's really all I've got for Becca to come back as a complexion brand. That's really the only way I see it for you, especially right now when, I don't know if you guys have noticed, but the inclusivity train is kind of dying down. Like, brands are starting to go back to the way that they were acting before everyone got on their ass. So that, and it being a time where people are saying, give us complexion products besides foundation, when you were already a brand that was known for making good complexion products, and at the time, you know, good inclusive complexion products, even though looking back at it, it was just like decent. If anything, you come back, be like, listen, if you thought we were bomb before with our concealers and our color correctors and our foundation, look what we could do when we come back for round 2. That's really the only way that I see it. But for some reason, they have firmly grasped it that they are going to be a highlighter company. And I don't see that being a sustainable way of moving forward for a makeup brand in 2020. And of course, like I said in the Tarte video, they're going to continue being a $1 million company, and you know, someone's going to buy it. But the points of these videos are, you know, what brands could do to reach the potential that some of them might actually have. And Becca has more potential than just being a highlighter company. They just won't take it for some reason that I don't understand. But I was gonna be shady, let me not say that. But that's really all that I see for Becca. So that is how I feel. That's what I think was the downfall of the brand. You guys let me know what you think was the downfall of Becca, why people stopped talking about it as much. And if you agree that they can still make a comeback, what you think they can do. What could Becca do to make you be more interested in the brand or purchase their products? Or what products they can come out with that you would purchase if you don't want to purchase anything that they have coming out right now. Let me know all of that in the comments down below. Let me know, you know, like what other brands you'd want to hear a type of video like this on. And yeah, that's pretty much it. So I always feel like I really just dragged brands for filth when I make these type of videos, but this is me trying to help you. This is out of love, okay? It's tough love. So that is it for this video. That's all I gotta say. Let me stop talking. Now, make sure to thumbs up, comment, and subscribe down below. Thank you all for watching. I will see you in the next one. Bye.